today is the day. We've been building anticipation for days now. You've been waiting after days, day after day. You've been waiting patiently for this guide, this book. And today is our celebration launch party. Yeah. Let's see the excitement. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for pre-ordering this book. From tech binging to book binging, it's an amazing journey having to do this with you. And I want to welcome those joining us for the first time. Let everybody know that this guide isn't just a free download, it's your escape map from mental overload into mental clarity. Yay! Are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? You want to let everybody know that yes. This guide is now available. Like, I feel so excited. It's something that has been in my heart for a while now, and I've been like, hey, I wish I can let everybody know that they can actually break away from tech binging, especially busy professionals who are just wondering, how can I read? When will I be able to read? How do I meet up? And all of the questions you keep asking yourself. See, this guide is the solution, is the answer. I have poured in everything that I know to actually help you walk away from the place where you're struggling with tech binging to becoming a book binger. Today is the virtual launch party. Plus, we get to do Q&A. You have questions to ask me. You can go ahead and ask as regards overcoming tech binging, and then, of course, becoming a book binger. How do you move? How do you move? How do you move? It's something that you would love. I can assure you, you are going to love it. And you want to tag a professional. Yes. Tag a professional already. Let them know that we are live. That we've got this book now. Yes. I'm so excited. We've been working on this, and I'm going to do a little bit of live reading as well, so that you can as well have to know what the book is about and everything there is about it. And I'm sure that you would love it. Trust me, you will love it. You will love it. You will love it. Okay, so it's simple. You need to use the link on our bio to order for yours. And that's about it. Once you do that, you get your book today and it will be delivered to you. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in today. I want to share with you the real story behind this guide. In a few minutes, I want to share with you what made me write this guide, the real story behind it, and what there is about it. How you realize that your brain wasn't tired, but it was just overwhelmed. You know that moment when it just hits you that, oh no, it's not actually that your brain is tired, it's overwhelmed. It's that you are wondering, okay, so how do I handle this? How do I handle this? And then it hit me one day that it's not that I am overwhelmed, it's that actually my brain is overstimulated. It's two different things. And because I understand the people I'm sent to, busy professionals, they are so quick to just say, no, you don't get it, I'm overwhelmed. It's two different things. It's one thing to be overwhelmed, it's another thing to be overstimulated. Okay, so I was able to get away from the place where I was feeling, oh, it's overwhelmed, to actually realizing that, oh, it's overstimulation. Now, again, I also realized that notifications were training my attention span to shrink. I realized when I was still there in that place of tech binging that notifications, constant notifications, the ping, the scrolls, they were actually training my attention span to shrink, to become smaller, to become a lot more shorter. Okay? And then I realized that reading brought my mind back to peace, purpose, and power. So the moment I was able to put away the distraction, I realized that, oh, becoming a book binger, not being someone who could read every day, took me back to the place of power, the place of peace, the place of purpose. All right? And for me, I didn't just want to read books per se. I wanted to think clearer. I wanted to speak better. I wanted to live smarter. Now, that's what birthed this guide. The desire to want to read wasn't just it alone. It was about how I wanted to live every day. It was about how I wanted to show up every day. I wanted to be that person who would live smarter, not in competition to anybody else, but I wanted to be smarter than who I was, at least yesterday. So for me, reading daily is a big deal because I want to actually be smarter daily. I want to think clearer. I want to speak better. Now, I want to quickly run you over a preview of what's inside the guide you're getting today. Okay? What it tackles, I want to first of all show you what this guide tackles. Number one, it tackles the scroll syndrome. That's how I named it. That's what I called it. The scroll syndrome. A lot of busy professionals have been caught up in it, but they didn't know that it had a name. They didn't know that, okay. And for me, any challenge I realize, like currently there's a challenge that we have realized at the Smart Speakers Academy that professionals in the diaspora have been dealing with. That's following a process of working with diasporas for a while now. We have discovered that, there's this recurring issue that diasporas, and we have to try to at least name it. So for me, I feel like if there's a challenge, let's name it first. So the first thing we did is to name it, the scroll syndrome. What it tackles, what the guide tackles is number one, that scroll syndrome. You'll be able to understand what the scroll syndrome is. Number two, you'll be able to understand focus fatigue. I know this guide is not lengthy. Because the person who is struggling with tech binging is struggling to read. So it's not something voluminous per se. But trust me, it is worth your time and your energy. Number three, it handles mental laziness. So you'll be able to see habits that have resulted in mental laziness and of course how to come out of it. So for each habit, there are 2 ways to handle each habit. So yes, you're seeing 100 ways, but trust me, we're giving you 200. Yes. We give you a handle with and a handle by. What would you use to handle it? How would you handle it? All right. And then number 4, attention crashes. You'll be able to see the habits that have been crushing your attention and how to walk away from them. Again, anything I package in a book, in a course, in a guide is something that I have been able to work through. We've been able to walk a couple of busy professionals, I beg your pardon, through this process. I've been able to see that, okay, there's a solution. So let's give it out to the world. They're literally things that we have touched, we have tasted, our hands have experienced, all right? Now, it also gives you over 100 tools and tactics to reclaim your focus. See, most times when busy professionals say things like, my reading is slow, I don't understand what I'm reading, most times is a lack of focus issue. So a lot of time, the problem is that they lack focus. So in that guide, you get over 100 tools and tactics to reclaim your focus. Simple things you just have to handle and your focus will be reclaimed. Okay. Another thing again is that you get the framework for defeating digital distraction. You get a framework for defeating digital distraction. See, if you are caught up in scroll syndrome, there's actually a thing of digital distraction that you are dealing with that you need to be able to find a way to work out of that place. All right. And then, most importantly, gives you sample daily rhythms. Yes. You get to find out sample daily morning routines, app blockers, thought reprogramming tools that will help you. Some that you didn't even know were possible. I was still looking at the guide this morning and I'm like, this is the guide every professional needs. And I'm telling you, it's no hype, it's no fluff. If you know a professional that should get this guide, what you want to do is to let them know. Share this link with them. Today is the final day and the book is out already. Yes, it's out already. Those who use the seller link will get delivered in their emails today and they will get it. They will get to find all of this inside. One big idea I would love to share with you today is that your phone is not the enemy. It's not. Technology is not even the enemy generally. Tech helps us a whole lot. I'm here on this live with the use of technology, right? Technology is not the enemy. But without a strategy, it becomes your master. So the problem is not to make you an enemy of technology. No, this is the tech world, okay? But it's trying to not make you a slave of tech. In fact, the goal is to actually make you a creator on the tech space. Because like I always say, there are 2 kinds of people within the tech space. Okay, so what we want to do is to make tech your slave. You be the master. As opposed to you, the tech being a master over you, and then you being a slave. Because at that point, you know what it is, right? Slaves don't create. Slaves consume. Anything they give them, they just consume. They don't have a choice. But as a master over tech, you are now that person that can manage it all. You are not lost. You are not at the mercy of whatever it is that the tech can give you and all of that and all of that. No, you are no longer in that space. So you are now the master. And the point where you become the master of the tech, come on now. You are in charge. You are in charge. You're using it to your advantage. You're using it to create pieces. Okay? This guide will give you back the driver's seat. The driver's seat. You now become the one in charge. Again, your phone isn't the enemy, tech isn't the enemy. Now, how do you start your book binge journey? Choose one section from this guide each day. Pick 1 to 3 habits to work on. It's about 100 habits. Pick 1 to 3. When you get your guide, pick 1 to 3 to work through each day. Pair it with a simple reading goal. 10 pages, 15 minutes, 1 chapter, something that you can achieve daily. And then use the reflection questions to realign your focus. There are some questions that may pop up as you're going through the guide. There are some areas that may help you to handle certain things. You want to actually use this to realign your focus. And then number 4, replace tech binging with book binging. First thing in the morning, right before bed. These 2 times. First thing in the morning, right before bed. Most times, the book bingers that will realize this is where they largely fall. So in our inner circle program, the book bingers, we have a larger chunk of book bingers. Those who are able to move away quickly are those who are actually slotted in reading into their morning routine or into their before bedtime routine. So either way works best. You don't need motivation, dear busy professionals. There's nothing like I need to be motivated. Well, it's important, but most importantly, you need a rhythm. That's what you actually need. And this guide is that guide that gives you the rhythm your brain has been needing. This is the kind of guide that I wish I had years ago. But then, the best time to have done something is yesterday, right? The next best time is now. It's today. So, I want to take a few questions. So if you have any questions, you can put in the comment section. If you have questions of, okay, how do I read even when I feel tired? Or you have questions that you want to ask, you can go ahead and ask. And while we wait to take questions, you can put in the comment section or use the question icon and we will take a few questions. This guide is currently still free for a few more hours. And after that, it goes back to the original price of 12,500 Naira. Honestly, it's worth more than that. It's worth much more than that. It is just me gifting you what I wish I had, what I wish every professional would have, to be able to actually improve their love for reading, their habits for reading. Again, reading is not a thing of love. You know, some people say, I love to read, but just that I don't love to. I don't know. There's no need for all of those. Okay, what you need is a rhythm. And that's what this guide will give to you. Rhythm, basically. All right? Now, remember that your brain deserves better than breadcrumbs from the internet. Your brain deserves better than breadcrumbs from the internet. That is what your brain requires, more than breadcrumbs. Share the link, share the seller link, send it to a friend. Start a book binge squad. You know why? Because that's how you can actually book binge. When all your friends, siblings, family members have this kind of guide, for instance, you are forming a squad within your own space of book bingers. So the journey becomes easier, a lot easier for you. Even on the days where you don't feel motivated, you can actually do it because, of course, your environment encourages such a thing. So I want to encourage you to let someone know. Let's see if we can take some questions. How do I read even when I feel tired? It's simple. How can you read when you feel tired? When you feel tired, you want to plan your day before you feel tired. So there's a difference between reacting and responding. Okay? For the Speed Reading Masterclass we had this June, part of the things we gave to the participants of that class was a peak day planner. And yes, you have to get the peak day planner. It's on our seller store. Use the link in bio. You get the peak day planner for yourself. So for busy professionals, right, you're going to be tired every day. That's just the truth. if you're really busy, because that's like the first thing any professional, I'm a busy person, that's okay, right? But if you're really busy, you would understand that you're going to be tired most of the days. Let's be honest. So if you want to leave your reading to when you don't feel tired, then that's not going to work. So I would say that as opposed to waiting for how you will read when you feel tired, one thing you can do is to plan your day. There's something called a peak day. And a peak day is planned. And to plan it, you need a peak day planner. So use the link on our seller store, and you'll be able to get yourself a peak day planner to help you. So you do not have to wait to read only when you feel tired. No, plan your day. Plan your day. Slot in your reading at some particular time. The peak day planner will help you. So the peak day planner is worked into every day. It's a planner. Monday, Tuesday, it's worked like that way, okay? Number 2 question is, what apps should I delete first? What apps should I? So we talked about apps, interestingly, on that guide from tech binging to book binging, and I hope that everybody has gotten it. Everybody has gone to use the link because it will be sent to your emails, so you will get it on your email before the end of today. The team has started working on it already, so you get the modalities have already started to get the email sent to you, where your guide will be there with you. So we talked about how to delete apps, what to do with apps, what apps to get out, and all of that, or how to control the use of apps. It's on that guide, and you need to. So if you want to know what guide you should delete first, you should ask yourself, what benefit is this to me? Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10. Then ask yourself, of what benefit is book binging to me on a scale of 1 to 10? Then what should be on the sacrifice altar? You know, I had my mentor, Coach Wendy, say something. She said, what is on your sacrifice altar? So when she's talking about that, whatever you choose to do, something is on the altar of sacrifice. So for me, there was no way I was going to do a book a week, considering how busy my life is. I'm a toddler mom. I'm a coach. I do a lot of things, really. And there was no way I would have been able to read daily if something didn't go on the altar of sacrifice. And that had to be tech binging. Right? So the question I would ask you is, what do you think or what do you consider should be on the altar of sacrifice? So you decide what should be on the altar of sacrifice and put it there. If there are apps that have to go for you to achieve some other goals, then by all means, please. By all means, please. Number 3, how do I stay consistent with book binging at work? Again, you need a peak day planner. However, one thing you want to do is to not let your work suffer, because you want to build you. Okay? So what you want to do is, again, I cannot emphasize the need of a. You need to plan your day. Busy professionals, you need to plan your day. Now, in that guide, we addressed how to slot in reading into your breaks. How to slot in short buckets of times of reading into your daily routine. Yes, it's in that guide. What to do during your break time, how to identify when you can slot it in, what to do with tech around your meal time, for instance. It's mentioned there. It's one of the habits that professionals struggle with. Professionals, for instance, would use their phones on a meal table, or use their phones during their break. That there are questions, there are habits that addresses these questions in that guideline to help you. Number 4, what books do you recommend for starters? Okay, so there are ways to pick a book, right? So I would always say 3 things basically for you to pick a book. Number 1, pick a book according to an author. Yes. Number 2, pick a book according to your goal. Number 3, pick a book according to your current size capacity. So I'll explain. Number 1, pick a book according to author. The truth is, people do not read. I have found out on my journey as a coach helping busy professionals to read, I have found out, and as a person who is also working on her own reading journey, I have found out that you do not read books, you read authors. Yeah. So one thing you want to do is, as a starter, now you would grow to the point where you can read from anybody. But as a starter, that's your question, right? What you want to do is to pick authors that you love. Read from an author that there's already a connection, right? And you know that saying, where your heart is where the treasure is. Where the treasure is, where your heart will be, right? So because you already love this person, definitely the sacrifice required to pay to, when you're reading from someone, it's as if you're spending time with the person. So if I'm reading from my mentor, for example, I feel like I'm listening to her. I feel like I'm in her head. I'm trying to get things from her brain. So for me, I'm going to be there. So for you, for starters, you need to pick a book from or a book authored by someone that you admire. Number 2 is, I mentioned, pick a book on an interest. So your interest could be an area you want to improve on that you're lagging behind, or an area that you're already good at but you want to get better. So you need to identify your objective. Where do I want to? That's why in our Inner Circle program, the book being just both of the Smart Speakers Academy, what I want to do is that we create a 12-month framework for reading. Because we found out, part of the challenges I found out before even establishing this Inner Circle is that most professionals, they have books on their shelves. These books are not systemized. These books are not planned for. So they're just there. And they keep saying, I don't even know when I'll have time to read. You need to plan your 12-month calendar in every year to actually schedule a system of it. The 12-month calendar system is what we use in our Inner Circle program. So number 2 is, and what we do is that we give you that guide, that 12-month calendar. We tell you, you need to identify the areas that you want to read from. And then number 3, you need to pick a book according to your current reading capacity. Now, dear busy professional, do not hear what I'm saying now, or you get the guide in your email and then you say, Smart Speakers Academy has sent me an email. And then you go through the guide and you say, yes, these are the habits, because we mentioned 100 habits. There's no busy professional that will not find themselves at least in 10 of them. I'm being nice saying 10. Otherwise, you find yourself so many places. Now, don't find that you say, oh, they've nailed me, they called me out, I want to change, and then you go and pick why you act the way you do by Tim Lai. You know how many pages? And you can see the tiny print in that book. And he said, this is the book I'm going to finish in 1 week. I heard this coach that said 1 book, 1 week. I want to follow her. Listen. You will come back to me to say you don't know where you found yourself. Or maybe you may feel too ashamed to even come back. So please let me help you now, right? You need to pick a book according to your current reading capacity. We have a minimum entry capacity level that we give to book bingers in our Inner Circle program. But I'm going to say this to you here. If you come to the Inner Circle, we're going to give you more details. But one thing I want to say to you is build progress, not just potential. So potential is, oh, I'm going to read this, I will finish it. That's not build progress. Where are you now? That's the question. When last did you read a book? Can we start with something that is manageable, bite size, something that we can chew? Yes. And then we go that way. It's like someone who is trying to start eating again. So I use a typical example. If maybe you go through a surgery process, or maybe you just gave birth and you want to start eating again. You were eating before that process happened. Something happened to your entire system. You're not just going to start up and you say they should give you a malani. We do. You're not. You start with bites. You start with water. You start with pap. You just go little by little by little. Women can understand. Or those who have been through surgery can get it. So that's how it is. That pause that happened in your life for years that you couldn't read. You didn't know where you were for years with your books. Now, you need to go in with water. Get a book that will feel like water for you. Get a book that will feel like pap. So you keep growing. Then you get to the point where you can now say yes. Where you can have semo and afang soup. Okay, so you can, I think I've addressed some questions that keep coming that me asked about reading and all of that. But I want to say to you that thank you so much for joining this live today. And book binging is absolutely possible. Tech binging can be overcome. The scroll syndrome can be overcome. Look out for our mail. You get it today. And everybody will definitely get the books. So you want to let everybody know. Now that we're still sending out emails and sending out the guides to everybody, let them know that they can get it for absolutely free. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in on this live. It's been amazing. Share this with a professional that you know. If you have questions, put in the comment section or use the icon, and we can still take a few questions before we go. If you have questions on reading, something that you've been struggling with, we would still take a few questions. Now, part of the questions that is here is, what if I start a book and I realize I do not enjoy it? What if I start a book and I realize I do not enjoy it? So two things, right? I would love to ask this person, why did you pick the book in the first place? And secondly, why does it seem like you do not enjoy it? Again, that is why I gave you 3 reasons, 3 ways a starter can pick up their reading habit again. And part of the ways is to identify your objective. Why do you want to read? See, we do not fall according to the love for a book. No, we fall according to the system. Part of the system is a goal. There must be a goal for reading a book. If I'm reading the book, for instance, there's a voluminous book I read recently. Voluminous. Why We Want You to Be Rich by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. Voluminous. And this is the kind of book that you want to actually soak in. Now, it was going to cost me focus, speed, time, and everything. But then, yes, I know I'm a speed reader, but I wanted to also create from this book. Beyond just reading it, I wanted to create from this book. So, my goal was strong. There are some points that some things hit. You know the way Donald Trump speaks, that's how he writes as well. Some things will come in and it may feel like it's somehow, but I knew that my goal was strong. So I would say that's one thing, right? What you want to do is to place your goal before you. You pick up a book, your goal should be before you. Because most times, if you have your goal clearly to you, what you are looking for to achieve with your goal with that book may be on page 86 of that book. So if you stop halfway at page 42 and you say you're no longer interested, you may not achieve your goal. You may not find the thing you're looking for. And then secondly, you need to identify what exactly is making you feel like you shouldn't continue. Why exactly do you feel like this book is not interesting? Is it that you're tired? Is it that you are struggling with coming back to your reading habit? Or is it also possible that the main issue is that you are reading for too long at a time? So now this is another mistake professionals make. They pick up their reading and then the next thing is they want to read for an hour stretch. No, you can't do that. You get to this point. So when you now start feeling this way, you cannot actually name your feeling rightly. Next thing you say is this book is not interesting. But one thing I want to say is when you want to pick up like that, you want to go slowly. You want to take in few minutes, buckets of time before you actually dive in. I hope I was able to answer a few questions before the end of this live. And it's been amazing being here. Thank you so much. Check your emails. Today, the guide will soon start going out. We're still getting some people still registering. So we're still trying to work out modalities so that everybody get their guides in their emails today. But you know people to love the rush, right? It now seems as if it's today that everybody wants to get it. And after today, we're going to take it off from free to paid. So you want to let every professional you know that, hey, this guide is here and they should get it already. Thank you so much for joining us today. You would see us tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. We'll be here at 7 p.m. for the Smart Speaking Symposium, and you would love it as well. Follow this page if you are not, and feel free to always catch replay on YouTube. You can find this on YouTube on replay. And thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. I am Leslie Grace, the founder of the Smart Speakers Academy. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. This is the Smart World.